Hi everybody and welcome to NY Design. We're going to get started by going over our canvas. Today we're going to be using three colors, our white, black, and blue, our vertical canvas, as well as our towel and our cup of water. The water is going to really help make our paint flow nice and smooth when we're painting, and that's going to really help out our painting. We're going to be using 4 brushes today, starting off with our large background brush. We are also going to be using our square brush. We're going to be using our round tip brush. And we're going to be using our detail brush to make this painting. To start off, we're going to pick up our large background brush. And we're not going to take out too much of the water. We want to make sure we have enough of that water to squeeze into the corner of our white to make a tiny little puddle. And with that white, we're going to come into the left corner and make a white circle. It's going to be a moon. Why are we adding white on top of white, you may ask? Well, the reason we're doing this is so that when we add our next color, when it blends with that white, it'll get slightly lighter. And we don't have to worry about painting the brightest part after we've added the dark color, which can threaten the brightness of this color or of the moon. So because we don't want to endanger it, we'd rather just make a really big white circle. And then when we add the next color, which is going to be a little bit of blue, then we start to form the moon the way we want it. And I'm going to press my blue halfway on the white, halfway on the outside. And when it starts to blend, look at how my blue is not so intense because it is blending with that wet white in that back space. We're going to come in and go in circles, and we're just going to spread this blue about halfway down our canvas. Again, we're going to glide our brush nice and smoothly. Again, I'm going fast with the motion that I'm doing, but I'm not pressing hard. Going fast and pressing hard are not the same thing. I press very lightly, even though I go a little bit faster because I have a little bit more practice. As we start to paint the edges of this, you're going to want to add a little bit of white just to make it look like we have the white of the moon reflecting off of that sky. And then on the outside edges, we're going to want to come in with more of that blue just to make it darker. So again, we're going lighter, closer to the moon. And we're bringing this about halfway down our canvas. And then I'm going to get darker paint as I go lower. And I'm closer to the most outer part of this, so that it looks like it gets a little darker the farther away you get from the moon. And then I go back and forth with that blue. I go into the light space just a little bit with very light pressure so that it creates a nice gradient and blending effect. Again, I'm going to leave about 4 fingers worth of space underneath, and I'm going to curve it up on the edges. I'm going to use this blue now to create sort of like a little outline right at the bottom there. And I'm going to begin to smooth that to make an edge there at the end of my snow. To make it a little bit more of a deeper level, I mixed a little bit of black with my blue now to even add a darker layer to that edge. Again, we're going to go all around the edge, and when we start to run out of paint, then we're going to paint it a little bit closer to the inside so that it can blend out better. And we're going to do that all along the edges to create that effect, making it look as if there's more of a shadow there, casted farther away from the moon. Next, we're going to pick up our round tip brush, and we're going to pick up a little bit of black with that round tip brush. We're going to start off by making some trees on the left side of our canvas. We're going to come in from the left, bring it down a little bit, about 3 fingers, and we're going to start by making a little smiley face right there. It's about 2 fingers thick. And we're going to be making different trees now, and it's going to be all shadow. Since we're going to be working with perspective, we're going to have trees that are a little bit closer as bigger trees and trees that are a little bit farther as smaller trees. With this tree on the left, we're going to go up towards the half of the moon and a little bit above half, and we're going to create a triangle, and we're just going to begin to paint all of that in using our black color. We are going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of water and some more of that black, and we're going to begin to fill that in. We're going to make sure that our sides of our triangles are nice and straight. The whole tree could be slightly curved. It doesn't have to be fully straight, but I am going to work on straightening those edges so that it doesn't look so wiggly on the outside. Next, we're going to make a slightly smaller one towards the right. We're going to create that little arch, make a triangle towards the top, not yet reaching the moon. And we're going to just come in and fill all of that in with some black as well. From here, we're going to be going towards the right, and we're going to create another line, and it's going to be slightly slanted on the right here. So it's going to be straight. Even if our line or our angle is slanted, we're going to keep our line straight and curved, and we're going to make a smaller triangle. This tree is going to be farther in the back. Also, I did leave a lot of space in the middle between the medium tree and the small tree. So right in the middle in between, I'm going to make a nice big line, a big smile line, and I'm going to go straight up all the way to the top of the canvas. And then I'm going to bring that line all the way down. From the top all the way down. Using a little bit of water, we're going to smooth that out, and we're going to fill in this tree. Next, with that same brush, we're going to get a little bit of this black, put it into the corner of our blue so we get a nice dark navy blue. And then we're going to get this navy blue and move it onto the corner of our white. So after moving it from the corner of our white, we're looking to get this really cool sort of grayish tone. I'm going to add a little bit more white. We don't want it to be too dark. And what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to make those same curved lines underneath our tree. That's exactly what it's going to look like. And we're going to make it smaller and smaller from side to side. And we're going to have it angled towards the bottom, but a little bit sideways. It's not going to be going straight down. I'm going to get a little bit more white just to make sure it's blended. Mine is still a little too dark. And we're going to do the same to the tree in the background. We're going to get a little bit of that light gray, aim it towards the other tree, towards the right. Same thing for the tree in the back. We have that little highlight tip disappearing. And then the closest tree is going to have the shadow disappearing out of the canvas. And we can even add it just a little bit darker. We can add a little bit more blue because it's closer, so the shadow is going to be darker as well. From here, we're going to wash our brush and we're going to pick up just a little bit of white. I'm going to go ahead and just outline my moon once more. By now my blue should be dry, which means I can come in and actually straighten out the design of the moon. And I'm just going to be going around with that, making it look just slightly rounder. Then with that same detail brush, we're going to go around and add some dots all around the sky, creating some stars in that background. I'm not going to add way too many, but it's completely up to you how you want to add them. Do you want to do little stars, big stars? We have all these gaps all around our Christmas tree to add these little stars in that background. Add as many as you'd like. Next, moving on, we are going to come in with that same white. Hopefully by now your black is dry. And we're just going to make 2 lines, 3 lines going down. So we're going to start on the left. We're going to come down towards the center and we're going to work our way towards our right. And we're going to skip a little spot. Start on the left, bring our lines starting on the left like a little skirt, and then go all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, skip a space, and we're going to make our lines bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many lines you have to add. And as you go lower, your lines get bigger, which means you push harder on your brush so that your brush opens up and leaves you wider lines. And that's what it's going to look like. Hopefully your black is a little dry. If it's a little wet, it's okay, because then it'll add a slight gray tint to that color. So we're going to do this to our tree in the background. Same effect, but we're going to use the detail brush. Get a little bit of white, and we're going to make almost like a little mustache or a little skirt. We're going to skip a spot, and again, make all our lines starting from one side, working your way to the other. And we're going to make those lines pressing harder on our brush when we go lower and lower. And we're going to work our way from our left to our right. Next, from here, we're going to work on this top brush or this top tree. Again, I forgot to add that bottom layer. And we're just going to go nice and light on the top. If you notice, some of the white's blending into the background, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. We could come in a little bit with that gray and add some gray on top, and now you can totally see that white part on top. And we're going to do this, again, working our way down. You can also add a little bit of gray to the middle of these trees to go with that shadow part that we put on the ground. And we get to do that to all of them. If you want to add some of that gray, it kind of goes with that effect of having a shadow right on the bottom. You're just going to continue this effect using your detail brush, or you could switch out to your round tip brush to begin to add these lines all the way around. You're going to make them a little bit bigger the lower we get. And they're going to be a little bit smaller the higher you are. So again, we want to make sure that we skip a spot in between, leaving some of that black. It's what creates a really cute effect here. And we want to open it up again, kind of like a skirt. We're going to do the same thing to the right. And look at how pretty that is. Skip a step, start on the left, work your way to the right. And we're going to do this all the way to the bottom. Remember to push harder on your brush for wider lines and lighter for thinner lines. We are also adding our shadows right in the center. And then that's it. We're done. All you need is to grab your detail brush, pick up the color of your choice. I'm going to go with blue and a little bit of black. And I'm going to put my signature on the right-hand side so everybody knows that you did this painting. Thank you guys so much for painting with me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed painting this really awesome, magical, whimsical tree painting with me. And I look forward to painting with you guys next time. Bye!